Ashes to ashes.
Hello, and welcome to Till Death Do Us Part of the podcast. We're all here.
What up, what up?
And we got Charmaine on the line. What's up, Charmaine?
Hey, guys. Y'all looking good.
We're recording for tomorrow night. Look, I'm telling you, it's going to be a great show today. We have a special guest today, and we are right here in Secaucus, New Jersey. Always a good time when we get together, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, we got to tell them why we're here.
Well, why are we here?
Why are we here for the National Funeral Directors and Morticians Association National Convention.
Number 88.
Number 88
Yeah.
in the Meadowlands.
We are here.
That almost sounded like a infomercial.
If you got kids, you know, work here. We are here. We are here.
We are here.
We are here.
But you know what else? We made it out the chat.
Legit, we made it out.
We made it out the chat.
All in one room
We all in
tonight.
one room.
Yeah, we are here, and Charmaine, you know, God bless her. She couldn't make it today, but she is online with us. So, hey, Charmaine, go ahead. We're gonna do our quick introduction.
Yay, I'm here, and it's good to see the panel of.
She keeps getting kicked out the chat. Technical
The
difficulties.
panel.
She got kicked out the chat. But Charmaine is here. She's up in Maryland. So look, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna do our quick introduction, then we're gonna hit right to our special guest, and we're gonna keep it moving. All right, Tiff, what you got?
Crazy.
I'm Tiffanie, the princess. That's all I got to say tonight.
Where are you from? We
Well,
don't have.
whoever knows me, y'all know I'm from Philly.
No.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles, national champions. Super Bowl champs.
All right, next.
What's up, everyone? It's Warren. I'm the baby coming to you live from New Jersey by way of Virginia. It's a great day, and we got a good episode for you all today.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but why you trying to be so business and stuff? Why you trying to be so professional?
Don't start with me,
You
Mark.
don't do that, but you don't do that when we're not together. We get together, now you so exclusive.
All right, Adrian's next.
We're in the boardroom.
Go ahead, Adrian. What you got?
Yes.
Hello, everyone. This is your man, Adrian. We're in the boardroom, so we not just listen, y'all. We're super excited. We're here in Secaucus, New Jersey. Of course, again for our 88 NFDMA Convention and Expo. We all together. The family is here. We made it out the chat, and we are super excited for our special guest because she's very special to me as well. If it was not be for her, I promise you, at this moment, I wouldn't be sitting at this table. So I'm excited.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. Wendal, what you got, man?
What's good, everybody? Welcome to our 12th episode, I think. 13th episode.
Lucky
Glad everybody's here. We've been seeing our family and friends here in Secaucus. We walk around, people say, y'all gonna be on Monday night? Of course, we're gonna be on. We just pre-recorded, but we're just glad to be here. Us four together. That's four. I mean, one, two, five.
Curly on there.
Charmaine's on there.
Everybody's welcome tonight. We hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, great. So look, we're gonna skip current events today because we want to get. What happened?
We can't forget about our moderator, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mike Hamlar.
So here you go. Here you go.
The one and only Mike Hamlar.
Hey, you know, appreciate y'all.
And I just want to say before you move forward that we thank you for keeping us on task because I have not made no jokes. And he came to me several times.
I did not.
Ain't been no flag.
I did not.
But I just want to encourage you all, even though we are pre-recording this episode, still leave your questions. We'll get to them.
Yes,
We'll post about them. We still want to engage with you all. So please make sure that you leave your information and whatever you want us to answer, and we'll get back to you with some resources.
There we go. And I'm Mike Allen from VA. So look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get right into it. We're gonna go right to our special guest today. I cannot read all her bio. She has done so much for not just this industry, but as an ordained minister, a lot of different things. We're just so happy to have her on today. But I am going to read a little bit of her bio before she comes on. So Dr. Tonya Cunningham is a grief counselor, ordained minister, and transitional life coach who merges clinical expertise with spiritual insight to bring healing to the whole person. Not just part of the person, but the whole person, right? Mind, body, and spirit. With a heart deeply rooted in faith and a mind grounded in trauma, informed care. She specializes in grief recovery, emotional wellness, and inner healing and deliverance. She has become a trusted voice of hope and healing for those navigating loss, transition, and inner pain. All right, Dr. Tonya is the mother of her baby girl, Chelsea, who died after living 2 hours and 12 minutes. Adopted son, DeAnthony, and the proud dog mom of her 2 fur babies, Westies, was it Westies? Yeah, Westies, Minister Cunningham and Bentley Sebastian Cunningham. So without further ado, we're gonna bring Dr. Tonya Cunningham on. And she's sitting there laughing. She's like, oh my God, look at her. There's Dr. Tonya Cunningham, everybody. Hey, thank you so much, Dr. Cunningham, for coming on today.
Thank you so much for the invite. And let me just say, in all my years of speaking, this is the first time, or at least in all my years of having this dog. His name is Mr. Cunningham, but I like that. You call him Minister Cunningham. Praise the Lord.
The dog is so high.
That's it. That was it.
The canine person, God.
Yeah, well, thank you again for coming on. So basically, you specialize in grief counseling, and you've had tragic loss in your life. And thank you so much for sharing your story. We know it's not easy for people to share personal endeavors, but we thank you so much for sharing that. But if you don't mind, just give us a little insight on what do you do, and like how do you start this process for folks?
Sure. Again, my name is Dr. Tonya Cunningham, and I'm known as the grief doctor. And I have been in this industry, started out in funeral service, as Adrian mentioned, been in this business, this ministry for about 35 years. And as a part of being in that industry, it has afforded me the opportunity to really accompany hundreds upon thousands of people along their healing journey. And one thing I really discovered during that particular time is that most people, especially minority people, we do not understand the impact of death, dying, trauma on our mental health and our mental well-being. So now, as a person who is thriving on the other side of grief, and that's what I teach people, because grief never ends, but you learn how to live in it and through it. So I'm thriving on the other side of it. And as an international speaker, I help people. I'm passionate about that, helping people do the same, gain an understanding of what grief is. So you asked me the question, how did I get started? I started in mortuary school, and I really went with the intention of being the best female embalmer there was back then. When I went to school, women were not as welcomed as they are now. So that was my endeavor. But I started teaching a course called Adrian Can Relate, Grief Psychology. And that is where my trajectory changed. But listen, let me tell y'all. What you say, Adrian?
He just said, oh God.
How many times did he take that course?
I shall not say. He did well. He did well. But what I discovered even during that time, being in funeral service, many people were not calling me to speak. It wasn't until I went through the tragedy of a divorce. So I was married for 9 years. And after 9 years, the guy who was not just my husband, but also my pastor, he decided he didn't want to be married anymore. And what that did to me, that devastated me. It caused me to just spiral downward in the vortex of grief. And I realized that I really wasn't applying what I was teaching. So this whole movement, this whole grief doctor movement just started within the last 13 years because, again, he elected to remove himself from the marriage to be fully a part of the LGBTQ community. And again, that made me depressed. Minister of the gospel, a person teaching grief. So that's when I really started doing what you hear me say constantly is the grief work. So that's how it all started.
Wow, that's actually surprising, because I don't think I remember that part of the story, because you actually told it, somewhat to us in class, one time. But nevertheless, how do you manage in certain situations to help and cater to someone that's dealing with specific types of grief that relate to yours?
Okay, good question, Adrian. The reason I didn't tell you guys that portion of the story because I wasn't healed enough to tell it.
Mm.
Many people go through loss and grief and all that, and whatever it is that they go through, and then they want to get up speaking about it. You got to sit down and heal first before you can tell the story.
Right.
Right.
So
Right.
that's why now I can speak about it with ease because I'm 12, 13 years in this thing.
Yes, ma'am.
So that was the first thing. So now I can help people with ease. That's the same answer I give to that too, that I can help people with ease because I actually did the work. I did the work. And I really understood, have a greater understanding of what grief is. And I didn't do, which is what most of us do in the Black community, especially in the Black faith community. We spiritual bypass things. What does that mean? We only focus on the spiritual aspect of things and we don't deal with the natural things.
Yes. Now, it's different for me to understand that grief is just not only in death. You mentioned that you grieved during a divorce. Now it takes me back to my divorce to think, did I actually have a grieving moment or did I have a, oh, well, it happened moment? Because to me, grief is only in death. Naturally, grief is only in death. So how do you come to a point of accepting total grief and not just categorizing the different, just death being part of grief?
Well, I'm a person of faith because I'm always going to bring that in there. There's a scripture that talks about in all that getting, get what? Get an understanding. I think that's why I love going around to corporate entities, going around to churches, especially churches, helping to bring wholeness to the body of Christ, to help us understand we must deal with things holistically. So you ask the question, how do we deal with grief holistically? We got to first understand what it is. What is grief? It's an internal emotional and chemical response. So you asked the question, you said that made me think about my divorce. Did I really grieve it, or what? Did I really properly give the acknowledgement to it? I want to say that you did grieve it, but you may not have mourned it in a healthy way. Because y'all been to mortuary school, right? We learned the difference between grief and mourning.
Yeah.
And we use those terms interchangeably, but they're definitely different. So grief is on the inside. Absolutely everybody grieves. Doesn't matter who you are, rich, poor, Black, white, Republican, Democratic, don't matter. Everybody grieves, men, women. It's an emotional, chemical response. Now, mourning is what happens on the outside, right? Mourning is the external expression of that grief. It is really how we cope. So that's the question that I ask people when I love it when I'm working with people because I specialize in grief. They say, oh, I'm not grieving. I say, you probably are. Because again, grief is not about death only. It's about loss of any kind. And that loss could be something that's a happy occasion. You get a promotion on the job. Guess what? You're probably going to go through some grief because you're moving from the familiar to the unfamiliar.
Ooh, God.
You talking already?
Damn, yes, sir.
Phenomena.
What you said?
That thing is good to me.
Okay.
But it's funny that you say it because a lot of people don't look at grief simply as the end of a thing. So we grieve in death, and it's just like, well, death is the end of living. So anything that you go through, even down to moving positions, like you got your work wife or your work husband, and I'm moving to a different office, I have to grieve that relationship changing for the better. Like it's all these things that people will not go through the stages of grief. They just kind of put it under the rug and keep it moving.
So now funny in the industry purpose, when people are telling you guys that they can't pay your bill because they're grieving, you let them know you grieving too.
Absolutely.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah. So
See, that was the Lord's door. She got kicked off.
She got kicked off again.
See how it worked?
That is funny. That's funny. We're gonna let her back in a second.
Okay.
Dr. I see that you are the founder of Let's Talk Healing Incorporated and Dr. Tonya Enterprises LLC. Would you like to talk about those a little bit?
Sure. Everything that you guys see me doing now, it was birthed out of the pain of going through that divorce. All of these losses, like the divorce, friendships, any kind of relationship. We have people going through loss now, of course, here in Texas due to the flooding that's taking place. But also I have many clients who work for the government. And the moment that our administration changed in November, many of my clients and their colleagues or employees, co-workers that work for the government, they're going through grief because they're losing their jobs. They're losing their security. All of that. We're losing Medicare, Medicaid, all of those things. So it causes people to be in a space of experiencing grief. Now, you talked about Dr. Tonya Enterprises. That's the speaking entity of my company. That's when I go and I speak to funeral homes. I go to corporate entities. I go to churches, and I do workshops and consulting and training. Let's Talk Healing is more of the counseling piece of it. When I'm working with people one-on-one and I'm doing grief workshops and things like that. And that, again, came about, like I said, as a result of me going through the process to let's talk about it, because we didn't talk about things like that, right? There's a colloquialism that says there's an elephant in the room and we all know it's there, but we're just going to kind of squeeze by and we're not going to deal with it. Well, after going through my divorce, because prior to that, I had some losses, but I just spiritually bypassed. I buried my baby, my mother, my father. Dr. Spencer was my mentor. That was the only funeral home that I worked for. He was brutally murdered 3 days before my wedding. And so I spiritualized absolutely all of those. So it was the divorce that the Lord used to help me understand, girl, you're not dealing with this appropriately. Yes, you went to Dallas Institute of Funeral Service and you graduated, but there's some things that I want to download as it relates to revelation and understanding of what grief, death, and dying is from the biblical standpoint. So that's how the Let's Talk Healing came up. Because after the divorce, when that man told me he didn't want me no more, I was like, what the world is going on? So I became suicidal.
That's what you really said.
Yes, that's what I said. That's what I said. But this is what I did. This is where my first book came. I admitted myself in the mental health hospital, right? Because this one is called I Got My Marbles Back. And you know, in the clinical world, they say if you lost your mind, you lost your marbles. So I admitted myself in the mental health hospital, and I was there 6 days and 6 nights. And then I was in outpatient therapy for about 30 days. And that's where my healing really began, in that space.
Thank you, Doctor. And so mention your book. Can you tell us, can you show us the book so everybody can see the book? So where can they purchase this book?
They can go to my website, drtonyacunningham.com, or they can go to Amazon. You know, if you want it quickly, you got Prime. You can go to Amazon and find them there. The second book, Grief Work, that was birthed during the pandemic. So here, if you didn't know my story, it was very surface level because I was still healing in that process. So I really didn't share much. This one, I shared more of the story, more of what happened, again, from my perspective. And it talks about grief work. And this was birthed during the pandemic. It talks about it is essential. You remember when we were in the pandemic, we had essential workers. You guys were essential workers. And I teach that grief work, you got to work through your grief. It's essential. It's not optional. Even for you all that work in the funeral service industry, it is important that each of you deal with your grief so that you can properly take care of your families.
So I just want to switch gears temporarily for a second.
Okay.
Because you have now built a business, you built an empire of knowledge and a seed that was planted to somebody who is trying to do that and say, you know what, I have information that other people need to have. I have a story to tell. How can you talk to them for a second about how they can establish their worth? How can they go about writing a book and pricing it properly, or pricing themselves as a speaker properly? And knowing not to get over, not getting over is not the right word. Not feeling like taking advantage of somebody.
I agree. I hear you. Yes. I get approached quite often with people saying, I want to do what you do. And my question to them is, have you healed from your story? Kind of what we talked about in the very, very beginning. So my encouragement to the people is to go through the process to make sure that you have navigated through all the spaces as it relates to healing from it. And then from there, it will unfold. What you see and what I'm doing, it unfolded. I didn't look for any of this. It unfolded where it talks about your gift will make room for you. It will do exactly that. It will do exactly that. So my encouragement to the person is really to just allow themselves to be in the space to heal. Because what I've discovered in grief, whatever is unresolved is going to come to the surface when you're dealing with that current loss. So a lot of times I'm dealing with people with their unresolved childhood issues, daddy issues, mama issues, abandonment, rejection. So once you work through all of that, your purpose will unfold. I promise you it will. You don't even have to chase it. It's going to chase you.
You hear that, Tiff?
You got the Holy
I
Ghost.
am so
She
listening.
got the Holy Ghost.
Are you listening, Tiff?
My Lord.
I need every last bit of this.
Hey, so for viewers, look at the bottom of the screen. That's the website to go and check out Dr. Tonya Cunningham with her book, with her shop. Go and buy I'm gonna go buy it today because she has
I
blessed
already
me
have it in my cart.
already. I don't know about you guys, but she's blessed me already with some of these things that she's talked about. But please go support her. We know her time is very valuable, so we don't want to take up too much of her time, but we just want to see if any last questions.
Dr. Cunningham, I remember the Empty Chair series. I was there when you did that. That was good for families who experienced loss at different parts of the year when there was their first Mother's Day, first Father's Day without their loved one, or Christmas. That series was really good. Can you share just a little bit about that Empty Chair series that you did?
Yes, that was birthed from me speaking for older senior funeral director Norma Parsons at the Potter's House in Dallas.
Yes.
She asked me to come over there, and that's where that came. And her whole event was called The Empty Chair. And I spoke about grief, and it was another guy there who spoke about grief. And so I say, hey, I like that topic. Can I use it? And she said, yeah, you can use it. So I've been carrying it around everywhere I go because the reality is there is an empty chair there. One of the biggest mistakes people will make in grief is they try to go back to life like it used to be. You cannot, because grief changes who you are. Change is not bad, but it is certainly uncomfortable in the beginning. Adrian remembers me. I was so conservative back then. Look at me. I'm wearing all these long earrings and these big frame glasses. Listen, because I'm healed enough to do it. Wasn't I conservative? Yes. But grief changed me. So I encourage people again to just allow them to be in a space. If they have an empty chair, just to go through the process, get help. Help is available. You can find it anywhere, again, to help you navigate that process, to help you deal with that empty chair, because you have to get through, as a person in grief, you have to get through the first of everything. The greater part of the first year, you're in shock. You really are. So you really don't feel the reality of what's happening most often until the second year.
Hello?
Hey,
And so,
Yes.
oh, y'all still there?
Yes, we're here.
Okay. And so it takes up to 5 years after the loss for the person to really find their new normal. And notice I say you got to find it. You got to find that new normal, and it takes up to 5 years. And that's if you participating in your own healing. If you are doing nothing to deal with your grief process, you will certainly find yourself stuck in it 5, 10, 15, 25 years later.
Wow. Yeah, thank you for that. So I have one last question. I don't know about everybody else, but in my firm, we provide free grief counseling to the community. Whether you used our services or not, we just try to get people there. What advice would you give to us as in the funeral profession on how do we get people to say, yes, I need help? Or what can we do to encourage, or what's some good strategies to say, hey, come on over here, let's just talk about it? Because we have, licensed professionals, licensed counselors that do this service, but unfortunately it's not well attended.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I want to say to you guys, be encouraged. Be encouraged. That's normal. But we want to change that norm. This is why you have this podcast and talking about the subject here today. Anytime I grab a mic, grief is going to come up. I don't care if I'm preaching in a pulpit or if I'm standing at a corporate office, grief is going to come up. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep offering the service to people, because again, here's the thing. It's a culture that we have to change. It's a culture that we have to change, and a mindset. And most people are still in that space believing that they don't need help. And that is okay. You still keep inviting, keep calling, providing that service, because what it does for you as a funeral director is going to give you an edge ahead of the funeral home that doesn't provide anything. Why? Because it helps the person understand they don't just, because y'all know people think y'all thieves, right? They just want our money. They going to dig up mama and get in the casket. Yeah, that's what they think. But when you provide that additional aftercare without trying to sell them a pre-need, without trying to sell them a pre-need, just offer it to them. And that helps them understand, you know what? They really care about me. I appreciate the fact that they offer this, and I didn't even use their service. So just keep offering it. Keep offering it.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, Doctor.
Tiff, you got a question?
Anybody got a question?
You don't have no husband-wife relationship questions?
No, I just want to say we appreciate you. And I mean, this
Yes.
the seeds that you have sown, even in this podcast, are amazing. Like this, you're anointed for this season.
And you all should see the webpage. This is what it looks like. That's her. She's beautiful. Look at her.
That's my girl.
That's her. Got her glasses and got her.
Well, Dr. Cunningham, we want to be praying for Tiff because Tiff found her man at the swimming pool, and she makes loves to tans.
Never mind. Never mind.
Exactly.
Never mind.
Never mind.
You know how we all on here. We look like we at the Last Supper. We put him in.
We really do. I don't want to say anything.
We put him in.
Oh my God. Y'all are terrible.
Thank you so much.
But thank you for coming on. Hey, one more time, if we could just see your book so people can see when they go to Amazon, they know which one it is to click and buy. Go buy it today. It's in Tiff's cart. I'm gonna buy both though. I didn't realize she had two, but I'm gonna go ahead and get both of those because we're all grieving at some point.
She got 4.
How many books? Oh, it's more than 2. How many books we got?
And the kids.
Oh, there you go. Hold on. Let's get that. We gotta get that. Hold it back up, please.
Look at that. And Katie cares.
Oh, I love that.
I'm a collector of bereavement books.
Yes.
I love that.
So
Yeah, people kept asking me, do you have anything for my children? That's another thing you could do as a funeral home. Start offering some type of grief support just to bring the kids in. Because you get the kids in, then you get the parents too. So I wrote Chelsea Cares, what was that, last year, in honor of my baby who's deceased. And talking about how it unfolds. Chelsea is my baby's name, but Chelsea is the bear here. That's another ministry, arm of my ministry that was birthed, where people started giving me bears. And I'm like, what am I going to do with these bears? And I said, a friend of mine said they're bereavement bears. So I pray over these bears and I give them, and it started out for the children. One day I was seeing a client for divorce, a divorced mother. And she had 2 sons. And I say, hey, give these bears to, because the sons were going through grief because they were changing schools, right? They were losing their friends, losing the neighborhood because their parents went through divorce. And I went to get 2 bears for her sons, and Holy Spirit said, get one for her. I'm like, listen, you're not gonna make me look crazy. Give me this grown woman a bear. What are you saying, Lord? I gave that woman that bear, y'all, and that woman cried for 15 minutes solid.
Wow.
Because of grief that she hadn't dealt with. And so she, along with other people, so this is geared for 5 to 8 year olds, but I have adults who are reading this, especially the inner child, the younger child, the little boy, the little girl hadn't been healed. So it really helps you in that process. And that bear represents my baby going around helping people is my story in a child's form.
I'll say this, let's say even in school, the way you come off and how you deliver things is so calming and so enlightening, to the ear. And so it's not hard to accept and take in, the things you say and how you say it, to be able to utilize it, for the purposes of your own life or just activities or functions that we go about throughout our day. And so again, that's why I said even in the beginning of it, that had it not been for you, because we've talked, and so back then, and so had it not been for you, I may have been here, but at this moment I would have not been here, because you were definitely one of the 1 out of the 5, right, who definitely pushed me in a positive way, pushed me in a non-aggressive way, and just allowed me to gather everything. You know, it was all new to me. It was different. The whole school aspect of it, not the industry side, but just the school aspect of it and how so quickly it was coming. And so I'm definitely grateful for you. And I'm so just amazed on how you talk and how you deliver to where it's just so easy to take in.
I'm a firm believer that these are the books that need to be a part of people's Bible studies.
Right.
And people's Sunday school life.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Let's show our people how to be healed for real. Like let's talk about this stuff. Because God wouldn't want you to be somewhere invisible or cut off or shut down. Like it's time for us to have healing for real.
Did you say it's time? I think you said it's time to have healing for real. Is that's so good? One of my elders at the church, she ministered that last Sunday. It is time to be healed for real. And so that's why you hear me talk about this holistic living and all of that, because the soul, that's our mind, our will, and our emotions. We have to deal with that. And that's what holistic living, to be holy. 1 Thessalonians 5, I believe it's around verse 20 or something like that, where the Lord wants us to be whole, spirit, soul, and body. And the pandemic ushered us into a time, meaning us, the body of Christ, to where we can no longer ignore our soul. We have to. We have to deal with our emotions. We have to deal with our bodies. We stop praying and asking God to heal you. Just stop eating the food that's making you sick. Amen. Praise the Lord. We can do that. Holistic living. That's what it means to be saved. And I feel the presence of God. I'm going to be quiet.
Listen, lock the door. The ushers are coming around with the plates. Everybody drop their offering. Lock the door. Close the door.
See, he always talk about me, then he throws stuff.
Yeah, that has blessed me. You have blessed
Well,
me.
you got me in here ready to start crying and shouting. So I'm
It's good to me.
Yeah, I saw your face was a little red.
Well, Dr. Cunningham, we thank you so much. So for all of us on this podcast, we're all believers. And I can just tell you, God is using you in a mighty way.
Yeah.
We are just so blessed to have you. I consider you a friend now. I know Adrian has talked so much about you, and now I see what he's talking about. You know, we just really appreciate you coming on, taking time to be with us. But please go and buy that book. All of our viewers and listeners, go buy the books. All plurals. Go support this young lady, because her ministry is powerful. I can feel it through the phone. I can just tell you, it's just giving me goosebumps right here. So we appreciate you. Did you have any last words for us before you have to leave?
My encouragement is just for all of us as individuals really to seek that holistic living. Make sure you take care of you. We hear this word about self-care. That's one of the buzzwords also that we hear a lot since the pandemic. It is not selfish to take care of you. Again, you mentioned that all of you are believers and your body is the temple. So it's very important. Y'all working 24/7. Make sure you take time off. Take care of yourself so that you can continue to serve your families. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Hey, man, thank you so much. All right, everybody heard it. Dr. Tonya Cunningham right here on Till Death Do Us Part, the podcast. I mean, I'm telling you, if you just heard the excerpt of that, you're gonna go get those books. So make sure you go to that website. We had it posted earlier. We're gonna post it back up one more time at the bottom. It's down at the bottom. Check it out. Go there, look around, shop. She has a lot of things on that website. Just please support her. Again, Dr. Cunningham, we appreciate you coming on. You have a great day. Tell the family, say hello.
Thank y'all.
Stick right there. Don't go nowhere.
Now,
Okay.
What's the dog name? Mr. Cunningham.
Mr. Cunningham.
Yes.
That's right.
Tell those fur babies we said hello.
Okay.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you so much.
Love you too.
All right. Man, what y'all think?
Oh
my God. Today.
I done started sweating all up. Like I was in class. She had me sweating, boy. I ain't lying.
Yeah.
I really now realize that I had a lot of fish that I had to deal with. Facts.
Girl, it's just time for you to get your own place, girl.
Big facts.
I think the most important thing that we talked about today is it's an unconscious group. People believe that because they're not moping, because they're not crying, because I got joy today, that it's just like I'm not in this stuff place, right? They're not grieving.
Yeah.
I even thought of, she mentioned the Potter's house. Like, you think about the people who are grieving the fact that T-Dex is turning over the church to his daughter. Like, they're grieving having to be under a new leader.
Yeah.
That's funny that you said that too. I said
There's different forms and
There's different
Yeah.
Like, I've been with all of y'all all day long, and nobody said, "Oh, we're gonna change clothes and put on something comfortable." I'm on
He's grieving his
Oh,
clothes right now.
well, I told you to take the coat off before we started.
Ain't nobody said nothing. We've been together all day long.
I told you. I said, bro, take your coat off if you're a little hot.
You all right, Charmaine?
Yeah, I'm good. I learned something.
Charmaine just soaking it all in. I can tell when she really internalizing it. Go ahead, Charmaine. What you got, honey?
No, I've learned that, growing up, grief has always been behind death. And just seeing, when she mentioned about her divorce, that I'm sitting back and thinking like, nah, I think I just said, okay, that happened. Lesson learned. Let's keep moving.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, she got kicked out.
Yeah,
Well,
she'll-
but now,
she'll be
as
back
she's-
on.
as
But-
she's speaking about it,
Yeah, the divorcees.
the
Y'all go ahead.
divorce thing, you really do think that you're past it. You think
Yeah.
that you're over it, you're past it. And for me, those that know me know that I work with my ex-husband. And I'm always like, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. But then when you realize that there really are a lot of things that I have not truly dealt with, and listening to her, it's like I've got a lot of
work to do.
I got a lot of baggage to unpack.
Man,
Well, at least you know it, Tiffany.
Yeah.
This is helping us know it. We all
Right.
do. So it's helping
There
us.
is no reason for anybody in America at this point in time, because we don't know what Agent Orange is doing in the White House. There's no reason for anybody to not be able to go get counseling. at this
Right.
point. The only thing holding you back is you.
right.
Yeah.
Because most insurance policies
Yes, they'll cover that.
will cover some type of insurance.
It's crazy. I made a post on Facebook literally the other day, not knowing that she would come on and she would say anything referencing even to that. And it's a two-part statement, but it just references, it says that most men, just as most women, instead of going to seek help when they've had issues, they just move on to somebody else. You know what I mean? And you had literally no time to just try to seek to find out what could have went wrong, when it went wrong, why it went wrong, how it went wrong. You just slid to the next person. And
Thinking that that's gonna
thinking that that's it, and then you thinking that for that little short time period that it begins and that it's going on, everything is so cool, everything is you so happy.
you know what? We were never taught that you seek help. We were taught that you pray about it and you keep going.
Right.
Help was never a thing until now.
No, seriously, yeah. And then it's like, again, we hold, like Tiff saying, we got so much in, and then when you hear that certain word or those certain words, you like, man, I ain't fixed nothing. I'm still toe up and everything else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and even for me as a man, like before y'all saw, my ex, but I was with my ex for 13 years. Thought it was all good. I knew it wasn't perfect, but thought it was good enough to where, for sure, I knew the good outweighed the bad and all that kind of stuff. And I got slapped in my face, and you pop up with somebody and, cheating in a sense, and I'm just like, well, dang. So all I knew was to just move on, you know what I mean? And not to another woman, but to allow you the time to go ahead and do what you feel like you're doing, but also give myself the mental stance to say, hey, I gotta just keep praying. I gotta, just keep standing 10 toes down and just live. Like Dr. Cunningham said, there is life after death, and there is life even after the past relationship too.
But I think a lot of people aren't necessarily looking for help; they're looking for validation.
Yeah.
That part.
They're not actually looking for somebody to help them be accountable, help them heal. They're looking for somebody to say, "Yep, that's
Right.
I'm on your side.
Right.
I'm on your side."
Yes,
Even if it hurts, because validation allows us to be stagnant. It keeps us in this place, and we don't move nowhere because we're validated in where we are.
Well, I thank God for y'all. and my other people in my corners, man. I'm serious. Like, I mean, that broke me. Like, I mean, you know, I didn't show it, you know what I mean? But like, it literally broke me, you know, from somebody who I was raised by women. So, you know, I've always had the mindset that my respect, my appreciation for women just has to be like on a level above all levels for women because of the women who raised me. You know what I mean? And so, like, man, when I say dude, I neglected a lot. You know, even at times I neglected my kids who wasn't in the house with us. You know what I mean? I neglected them time. I neglected them attention to make sure that I was keeping the house in order. You understand what I'm saying? And so, like, literally, man, that broke me. And so, yeah, this even today has just been a good load off my shoulders. Cause I'm like, you know, not that it ain't me, but now I can really say to myself and look in the mirror and say, it wasn't all me. You know what I mean?
Well, that's really important, Adrian. I think that you come to a point in your healing now where you can really admit that you're homeless.
That you what? Homeless.
Wait, do we gotta throw a flag for that one?
I don't know. That's like so close though.
No, that's not close. That is not close.
I just want y'all to validate the fact that I let him get to the end of, you know.
No, you did not. No, you did not. And let me say this to you. Let me say this.
We are recording live.
We still recording. Let me say this on live. Let me say this to y'all on live. Listen, y'all. My fellow brothers and sisters right here are wonderful, successful, full-time funeral home owners. Some of them have more than one location. My little short self, I have a mortuary transport service. So when my phone rings, I have to go. So when y'all see me at times that I'm in the car and I'm out moving and I'm not at home like these good people, I ain't got no 10, 15, 20 person staff to go do nothing. So I have a beautiful home.
You do what you got.
I have a nice rental property. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you. You know, I think
Warren.
Get it.
It was close to a flag. It was, you know, it's one with a referee right there on it. You know, I ain't gonna pull it right now.
I ain't say nothing. Okay,
We'll pull it out.
I guess I was gonna get it, but I was gonna get it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it.
What I'm gonna say is black men and black women, hell, men and women, period. You need to take care of your mental faculties.
No, you got it right the first time. Black men.
Yes.
Woman scorn.
We do it way less.
Yeah, we do it way
Than our
less.
double counterparts.
There are too many people who feel that they are invisible. And it is not until they get to a point of, you know what?
And then they break.
I've lived my life invisible now. Nobody really sees me. I'll just be invisible.
So, Charmaine, does that fall into the narcissistic characteristic?
What's that?
When someone doesn't want to acknowledge that they have problems.
Yeah, and blame it on everybody else.
Right.
Yes.
Well, that brings up a good point. Look at the bottom of the screen, this disclosure right here. So the views of this podcast are ours alone and nobody else's, okay? So not anybody firm, nobody that we represent, it's just us six. So these are our personal views for that. But one thing that Dr. Tonya said that made me think about grief in our own families, right? So I think, honestly, I'm going through a grieving process of my kids. My kids are still living. Healthy is all outdoors as far as I know. The old folks say all outdoors. Put everything all outdoors. But I can just tell you, my oldest daughter's 18. She's not home anymore, right? My middle child, Michael, she's 14. She is growing up, and she doesn't want to be around dad anymore. And then my son, Micah, is 12. He's getting to the point he still says, hey, dad. But it's more like, hey, dad, but I'm going over here right now. It's not like, hey, dad, I'm going to get up under you. So, I mean, it's a lot of different things there, which, you know, it's just a different feel for me. Because I've always had my kids. People that know me know I love family and I love my kids.
Yes.
So, you know, for those that are going through that transitional age group, you know, I feel you.
High five, brother. We in the same boat.
It's really when people open up their eyes to the things that they actually grieve. Like, you know, even for my grandmother when she passed and all that foolishness that went down regarding that. I think I grieved the breakdown of my family, my nuclear family structure over the actual grief of her death. I was like, okay. And my cousin was, she kind of broke it down too. She was like, now I can actually grieve her death. Now that we finished breaking down and seeing what our new normal as a family was going to be.
Because she was the nucleus of the family.
She was the nucleus. She was the matriarch of the family. But with everything that went down, it took your mind so far left that it's moments of like how did we get here? How do we get here? So we got to go through the phases of that and the anger of that to then come back and be like, oh wow, she really is gone.
Yeah. So that brings up. I have a question, for those of us that are at the table. That part of it, maybe we don't know too much about that with each other. Well, I know I posted mine, but so like my grandmothers are deceased on both sides. You know what I'm saying? And so it's I won't say crazy because it's not crazy, but why is it that when those matriarchs, pass on, like, because I see it so many times, right? We see it even as funeral professionals, and when they come in to make arrangements and there's arguments and misunderstandings and nobody's on the same page. Why do you feel that it is that when these matriarchs pass on, that the family is just?
Because I was just waiting for her to die to tell you what I feel. I had a problem with you, and I couldn't say it because she was holding me back. But now she's gone. I'm gonna tell you how I feel.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta come to my house. You ain't gotta eat my food.
Yep. Grandma's kept everybody in line.
Right.
They just regardless of grandma knew everybody's position.
That's right.
She knew everybody's dirt.
She knew everything. And she knew how to handle each and every one of us. And then when now she's gone, then it's like you got because you got nobody to keep you in check anymore.
And the dynamics of the whole family changes.
Been there.
You stick together. Yeah, you stick together, but I mean, nothing is the same. Nothing is the same.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it don't even be necessarily that it's all ish F you and B don't mess with you. A lot of times it don't be that. It just be that it gets into a whole competitive thing too. Okay, well, grandmother gone. So now,
who's taking that spot?
And such and such want to take the spot. And
right.
Now she running the family or want to run the family, but you don't even know how to do that. Right? You know what I mean? Because you don't know how to maintain your own household. So how you trying to maintain the whole family tree out? You know what I mean? So it's just like, why is it that things can't just flow on?
I think it's to Warren's point. These grandparents and grandmas and the seniors, they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I think that's what it is. Even in my own family, everybody has a favorite. You're never going to say who the favorite is. We had this conversation the other day. So the favorite is whoever you're talking to at that time. That is your favorite.
That's my favorite.
Right? But we all know in our families who's going to take care of business and who's not.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
Who gonna lie?
a lot of folks don't want to put that person in charge and they don't succumb to it.
Yeah, it's
That's the way it goes.
It's a lot. You grieve a lot every day in different ways, but we want to give room to mother's moments.
Yes. Yeah, we definitely want to get to mother's moments. Are you ready for mother's moments?
If my computer ready for mother's moments.
Put that neck at. Put that neck on the screen.
Oh, here she go.
This is a PG-13 podcast.
Oh,
It is. And let's go with mother's moments. You got the pictures up. Hey.
Put that neck on. Oh,
now it's time everybody's been waiting for.
shake that neck. Oh, yes.
Mother's moments. Oh, hold on. Before we move on, please explain this picture. Who's in this picture?
So this picture is of Charmaine's daughter, Brooklyn, who is an avid dancer. Charmaine is a dance mom. And I saw no other way but to honor Charmaine with the body that she wished to have.
And we'll never have again.
And never have again. So we used Brooklyn and we put her head on Brooklyn's body.
Her time has passed.
Oh my God. Don't. All right, mother's moments. What you got?
Am I standing or was that y'all? It's a
Oh, we can't.
mother's moment. Let's talk about this.
Oh, God.
We can't hear you now.
Your computer's technical difficulties.
Let the baby handle it. The baby has it all. Go to the baby's picture because I think my thing about to go out again.
To the baby picture? I can't hear you.
Stay out.
Oh, baby. Oh. So she's called for this.
Oh yeah.
She said, go to the baby picture. Go to the baby picture. So instead of Mother's Moments due to technical difficulties, we're going to go to Baby's Day Out.
Boy, let me
You
pull
been
on
out 2 weeks in a row.
Listen.
So, would somebody like to explain this picture?
This picture,
Don't do too much. Don't you do too much.
Would you like to explain that picture?
this picture is a wish I coulda, shoulda, woulda.
You ain't gonna ever catch me in no tutu. Anywho.
Oh my God.
So Baby's Day Out, since Mother's having some issues with her technology. Listen, we are praying for everybody in Texas right now. It's a rough situation, and now it's gotten political. It's just gotten messy. You know, they are still looking for at least 11 or 12 of the girls from Camp Mystic. We're hearing about whole RV parks that completely. Camp Mystic that just completely vanished. Whole RV parks that vanished. One of our colleague funeral directors in Texas, they happened to be in an RV after they dropped their daughter off at camp. The daughter was accounted for. They found his body. They are still looking for his wife and his 2 young sons. But it's a lot going on. They are up to 67 people that have passed. It's rough. And the whole time while everything is going on in Texas, you know, they're shipping people to Alcatraz, which is a whole situation in itself. So we're not even going to touch that. We do want to pray. We do have our obituaries. We are mourning the loss of Dr. Ludella Evans Reid from the Fellowship Chicago family. She is the sister and the last founding member of Clay Evans Church, Fellowship Baptist Church, now Fellowship Chicago family. So just want to pray for them and pray for the gentleman who lost his life trying to save some of the people at Camp Mystic and everyone that's just hurting right now. It's a lot going on.
It's tough.
It's a lot going on. So we can never take for granted that we are on dry land. That even though the AC might not be working in this room, we're able to sit in this room with lights and working internet and working phone lines because there are literally families that are looking for their loved ones and have no idea. They're trying to trace vehicles by license plate. So we do want to say a prayer for them and just hope that it all works out and that they can properly grieve. Because the truth is somebody dropped their child off at camp and said, I'm gonna see you in a week. Have fun. And you know, they got a call and said, hey, we're still looking for you. So
even I'm a tag team on that too, but I meant to send it and I should have. But even on the local side, back at home, 4th of July, immature kids, someone just had their door open so their kids can just see some of the fireworks and stuff that's out. Young guy had a mask on his face, lit some fireworks and threw it inside the people's apartment. Boom, they lost everything they had. Luckily, they made it out safely by the grace of God, but lost literally everything they had. So even to that, like let's grow up. Let's grow up. Let's be mature. You know, a lot of people around the world are hollering about YNs this, YNs that. These so-called OGs need to grab a hold to these YNs and put things in perspective. However, we're praying for those and we're praying for everybody, y'all. I have to say this, we are live in Secaucus, New Jersey for our 88th convention and expo. I am not only a funeral director, funeral professional, all that, but I'm also a DJ. We have our working reception tonight, and I am actually the entertainment, so I have to go so I can be prepared. So I love y'all. Thank y'all so much.
This
This
is when Judas came back to the table and said, take him, that man right there, So he
I
must
said,
go.
That's why you hot, because your shirt too tight, man.
That's why your feet don't touch the ground.
Yeah, they did. I'm telling people that they did for about 2 seconds because I slid the shirt up.
We literally got 4 minutes left.
Yeah, we got a couple minutes left. And DJ, what's DJ Magic?
Yes, sir.
DJ Magic with the shameless plug. So he will travel for the right fee.
Oh yeah, by the way, y'all pay attention. We're gonna be going live on the page.
We are.
Yeah.
Go live.
Yeah, we'll be going live tomorrow night to celebrate our president for the president's shindig.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is why we're doing the pre-recording today, so we can all celebrate them and enjoy this great association. So look, we got a couple more minutes left. Y'all want to have some last words? Charmaine, are you back? Oh, she was. Yeah, Baltimore shutting down out there. I don't know what's going on anymore. But if she comes back, we're gonna try to, get her on because she didn't get to really say a lot today. But we definitely
miss you.
Yeah.
We miss you.
Definitely want to thank our guest today, Dr. Tonya Cunningham again.
Awesome.
So for some reason, the spooky ghost is running through this building and all the internet. I came from off my laptop into the phone and it's still acting the same.
Well, we can hear you now. But so, Charmaine, you got any last words for our guests, our viewers, and listeners?
Please go and buy Dr. Cunningham's books. Go to her website. If you need to seek help, please seek help, especially men. Don't feel ashamed to seek help. We all need it after sitting. That's why I got quiet and shut in, because I realized how much grief I'm enduring that has nothing to do with death. So I'm dealing with my mom right now, and I never thought it would be grief. And now that listening to her, I realize it's grief, a part of grief. When you have to deal with children that you thought would go in certain directions, like Mike said, he's grieving his children. When you're dealing with children that are going in different directions, and you're like, wait a minute, we ain't do all this. So you realize how much you're grieving. So now, when I shut my phone off, I'm going to shut my phone off. I normally don't do it. I normally don't take the time to myself, but now I see that at some point I need to shut down.
Yeah.
I wear a lot of smiles. I joke a lot, and that's because I bring ease, and joking bring ease to everything that's in the back of me that you'll never see happen. I don't post everything online. My mother was 2 days in by the time I posted about her situation, because I had to figure out how to put it out there, without the street committee having her dead at that point. So it's truthfully, so deal with it, learn how to deal with it, but get help more so to deal with it. That's my final word for the night.
Yeah, thank you, Charmaine.
Yes. Where Adrian go? To eat again? He always running.
He's gone.
He has to go DJ. He's got
Oh,
So
okay.
now he's turning into DJ Magic.
Yeah.
Oh.
The welcome reception, I think, is at 7:30 or 8
o'clock.
Yeah.
They moved it back.
Oh, okay.
It's 7:30.
It's 7:30.
Oh, it's 7:30.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for joining in today. I think everybody's kind of echoed the fact that it's just like, if you need help, go get it. Go get it. Don't be ashamed. Don't let pride have you 6 feet under. Go get the help.
Right.
And I'm not just talking about suicide. I'm talking about stress. I'm talking about heart attacks and hypertension, diabetes, and all of that stuff like that. The body will manifest stress in different magnitudes. Go get your healing.
And your body gives you warning signs. Listen to your body. Yes. From a former athlete, I'm telling you, listen, if you don't do anything to listen to me, your body will tell you something is going on. I've learned to listen to my body now. And I'm just telling you, it'll save your life.
And Wendal has a lot of body to listen to.
Flag. Now that is a flag. She can wait all the way to the end. All the way to the end to get a flag on the plate. She just couldn't. We only got.
I gotta say something.
We have 30 seconds left, and she had a flag over.
I gotta say, this one right here, down there on the other end, he has done a phenomenal job on his weight loss journey. I found a picture of him from 2 years ago, and I looked at that, and I almost didn't even recognize that he was the same person. So you can
Yay! As the kids go, T, that's T. The kids say that's T.
Hey, look, celebrate the many wins out there, all right? We appreciate y'all. Look, Hey, this has been great. This has been
We
a
made
good
out the
episode.
chat.
We needed this tonight.
Yeah,
We needed this.
this was good. It was good. And hopefully y'all enjoyed the show tonight. Make sure you like, share, look out for next week. We got a good one for you next week. And from all of us here in Secaucus, New Jersey, and Baltimore.
2 up, 2 down.
Peace. You pulling us out?
No.
You got to do the outro.